on them in general and what you'd like to focus on?
I mean, the questions are pretty straightforward, and it's something which we have lived all through. So it's, I
Yeah,
mean,
that's what I'm banking on.
Yeah.
Experience there.
there's nothing which we have not lived all these years. So we're just trying to share. I mean, our experiences. That's all.
Absolutely.
Sounds great. Yeah, I mean, it's such an honor to have both of you here actually. After I did all my research and found out about what a key part you've been in the whole journey of table tennis. And now, of course, with the World Table Tennis Championship starting just next week, I feel like it's a very apt time to have this conversation.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's quite good. Yeah.
So I was wondering, maybe we could start with introductions with the both of you,
Yeah.
and then I feel like we have in more than enough here to do like a conversation that's longer than 1 hour, honestly.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we have 45 minutes.
Okay.
So I was thinking maybe we could focus on the common talking points so that both of you are more in conversation with each other, having been in the same industry different in different roles, you could say. And yeah, I'm just here to moderate and chime in now and then.
Sure. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. So, I mean, how do you want to go about? Do you want to start, or I mean, you would like us to discuss, or how would you like to? I mean, maybe it's good that you introduce and then
Yeah.
maybe put one or two questions and then we interact.
Right.
Yeah, sounds good. I'm just opening my notes over here.
How is everyone at home, Rakesh?
Everyone is fine, Mona. Everyone is fine.
Not
How's your
traveling
son
to
doing?
this side? Huh? Bus, all fine.
It's been a long
Going.
time, huh? Because I remember
Yeah.
the last time we had that dinner together at NSCI or someplace. I mean, not
Yes, yes.
NSCI. We had it together.
NSCI or
CCI.
Delhi?
CCI.
Ah,
CCI, yeah.
yes.
By the way, Miss Mehta, I really love going through the photos that you sent.
Those,
Very beautiful 90s photos, 80s.
yeah, it is.
Mona, did you play the inter-university in Meerut in 79?
Meerut, no, I didn't play.
We had Rajiv Sekhya, Ritik
I
Sekhya,
didn't
Abbas,
play.
yeah.
Uh,
So they
I,
came here.
I played the Jadavpur University,
Jadavpur,
AP.
yeah. I
Yeah,
was there. I was
Jadavpur.
there as
Yeah,
part of the Indian team, as part of the merit team. Yeah, I was there.
yeah. Those were the days when I used to go to Meerut and play the tournaments,
Yeah.
Never used to
Electra
miss
Gold
that
Cup.
tournament.
Electra Gold Cup was a very popular event.
Yeah, very
Yeah,
popular. We never used to miss it.
that's right.
Gala event, I would say.
I'm not sure if you got to watch the last Sportscom Speak that we did, but that one was on marathon culture, and we
Okay.
had Mr. Vivek Singh of Procam International and Commander Rajesh Rajgopalan of ELMS discussing marathon culture and its evolution over the decades since they, like you, are experts. And do give it a watch if you can
Sure, sure.
maybe.
Definitely.
It's been very interesting to do a deep dive like this with Sportscom Speak into one specific sport, because beyond cricket, I feel like in India, like the media gives such little coverage, but there are so many other histories which also exist, but just maybe need to be told.
Yeah,
Yeah,
now
I
it's
think
changing. Now it's
it's
changing.
changing fast. It's changing fast. It's only
Yes.
that cricket has been able to market it quite well. But now I think badminton, table tennis, all of us, we are doing quite okay,
Yeah.
I would say. Mona, how do you feel?
Definitely, definitely. It's quite okay, very good, I would say.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because now people know, they say, WTT at Goa, it was held, star contender, then the league. Everyone is,
Yeah,
eagerly
yeah.
waiting.
UTT, I mean, it has got, I mean, it has done
Yes,
wonders. I mean, we brought some of the
wonders.
best players in India. So
Right.
we've been doing wonders. Yeah. And it has given a lot of exposure to our players.
Yes, that is the
Yes, I
main
think
confidence, that they can also do well.
that's right. And that is one of the reasons why our players are doing so well today. I
Yeah.
mean, I was just thinking that if we have a Thomas Cup in table tennis, I think our players will do quite good because our men's team and the women's team, they're all, I mean, they're in good numbers who are doing well now.
Yes, very well now they are doing.
Yeah, and that's really what I would love to find out more about you today, about like from you about table tennis today, because we want to understand what is behind this boom, because it has to be a few factors which have come together in the last few decades. So let me just introduce both of you first for our audience. So we have Miss Monalisa Barua Mehta, who is the Deputy General Manager at Oil India Limited. She is an Arjuna awardee and Mission Olympic cell member. And then, of course, we have Mr. Rakesh Kohli, who is the chairman of Stag International, and Stag International being one of the leading exporters in table tennis manufacturing, and an exporter to over 200 countries, I believe. So it would be nice if we could start at the beginning. Miss Mehta, I wanted to ask you about, you've had such an illustrious career since you started playing at the age of 11. And since you first held the racket, you must have many fond memories, playing at the table. So could you share with us some memories of your first few state championships that you played? Yeah.
Definitely, because that time the media was only newspaper, nothing else. Like social media was not there, nothing. I just played for my fun. Like I enjoyed the game, that's why I started. My parents, they were very encouraging. They told me that you should play some game. So, being from a sports family, because my father was a football player, he was a goalkeeper, and he always said that you must go and play out, don't stay at home. So that's how I started playing table tennis. And when next year only I started doing well. After 1 year, I started beating all the players in Assam, and I was a left-hander. So my performance was very quick that time, during that time. And yes, in the state championships, when I was winning the girls' singles and all, then I was very happy. Those are the fond memories because in papers it is to come. Then in the school when I used to go, that time the head superior used to announce in the assembly. Those were the fond memories I could remember.
That's very sweet. Yeah, and I'm sure it's been such a formative part of your life, table tennis as a sport. And yeah, I mean, what was the sports industry like at the time, especially for a young rising sportswoman from Assam? And you must have gotten to travel a lot as well and overcome some challenges as well. So I'm curious about those.
Yes, from Assam to travel to all other part, it was really taking time. To Kolkata, we used to take 24 hours by train. And that time, mode of travel was not by air. Though my daddy was a pioneer of an agency, but he used to say that you must go with the players and have the experience in train, not to go by air. So I used to travel by train with my teammates, with my colleagues, and my mother used to travel with me. She used to encourage me. That was a big inspiration from my family. My mother used to travel wherever I used to go. Because wherever in Bombay, to reach Bombay, it used to take me 3 days. So it's quite long. And after that, to play the tournament is not easy. So those were the difficulties. But at the same time, I would say that during our time in Assam, government was very helpful. Like now also they are helpful, but during that my time also I was lucky to have government support and association was very active. the Assam Association, Mr. Fani Sharma, he really encouraged, because that during that time, the equipments, we used to play with Mark 5 rubbers, and Nitaku ball in the competition were used, That time we didn't have that much equipment. Now you get easily. That was not available easily that time. So they used to manage to get. So we never found that difficulty because we were getting it. So those are the things which, of course, we had problems, but it was solved in a very nice manner. And yeah, traveling was always a problem, communication and all. But yes, that was there. But we used to, enjoy, go in train and enjoy in the train. So that was a different fun altogether.
Yeah,
What?
right. Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember the first time get into the train and just open your tiffin boxes. The first thing, everybody is sharing the same tiffin boxes.
Right. And go on singing and making
Yeah, yeah.
noises and all, that is a different type of enjoyment, I would
Very
say.
correct. Very correct.
But I would say my parents' support was immense. And tomorrow is Mother's Day. I would really put in that my
Oh,
mother. I great thank to my mother. She's with me right now. She's sleeping in the. But I really thank her for
that's very
it.
sweet. Yeah, I can only imagine. But yeah, I think it sounds like the love for the game trumps all, and you found a way to make
Yes.
fun excursions out of them.
Yes. True.
And in parallel, when you talk about the history of the milestones in the history of table tennis manufacturing, Mr. Kohli, you've been a very close part of that since back in 1975. So, could you tell us a little bit about when the first table tennis table was manufactured, and a little bit about what was going on behind the scenes then?
Yeah, India basically had a good tradition of manufacturing of table tennis tables. In fact, in 1950, 50 or 52, the World Championship at Bombay, there was an Indian table known as Sundar, which was made in India and it was used in the World Championships. So, having said that, the manufacturing capacities were very low. I mean, at that point of time, if you would like to order a table tennis table, you'll send the 100% advance, and then you'll get a small postcard saying that we have booked your order. You'll get your table in 6 months' time. So that was the kind of, I mean, you book your table today and you get it in 6 months. So that was the kind of delivery periods. But when we started manufacturing in 1975, there were some very strong brands at that point of time also from Bombay. One was MCO, and then there were some local brands. So yes, manufacturing has come a long way. We started, my father, he produced the first table because I used to play. And that is how we came into the business of table tennis equipment. And fortunately, our table at that time, at that point of time, there was no Sports Authority of India. The table was approved by NAS Patiala in 19. We have been the #1 brand in India for table tennis tables. Our the game changer was for us in 1984 when we produced the first table on wheels. I mean, till that time they were all wooden leg tables in India. And my father, he produced the first table on wheels, and it was like, everybody was surprised that the table tennis table can also be on wheels, and they just couldn't believe that the table will be stationary when it is being played. And I remember, I think in 1985 or 1984, Kamlesh was playing in Goa, and he played a show match. And during the show match, he jumped on the table and started playing from both the sides. And that photograph appeared in the local papers. A big photograph appeared, and I used to carry that photograph with me, showing everyone that these tables are also stationary. I mean, even if there are wheels in that, they will not move. So then in 1987, for the first time from India, a table tennis table was approved by the International Table Tennis Federation. And in these 36 years since then, no other table has been approved by ITTF. We are the only table from India which has been approved by ITTF. Our first export started in 1991. And in early 90s, we produced for the first time blue tables. Traditionally, the table tennis tables used to be all green, but we produced the blue tables for the first time. And then The export journey started in 1991. And the basic thing was that we wanted to build brand India through Indian brand. So we were one of the pioneers who would export the products with their own brand. And that is how the journey strengthened. In, I mean, in 2000, we produced 5,000 tables for Iraq. And for the last almost 2 decades, we are doing 10,000 tables for butterfly from our factory every year. So that is how the manufacturing has improved. Although I would say that the market for table tennis in India has been pretty small, but the international market has really helped us to promote brand everywhere.
It's very
Right.
nice, Rakesh, really.
It's quite an education in
Yes.
table tennis history across different aspects, actually, and very interesting to hear all these
Yeah.
funny anecdotes also.
Yeah,
And
I remember in 1987 when the table got approved by ITTF at the World Championships at Delhi. So we had the first export order for 5 tables from Nepal. Now these
Oh,
5 tables, it was like huge for us. And because I mean we were for the first time we were exporting overseas, and then we had this as I told you 5,000 tables from Iraq in 2000, and last year we did 40,000 outdoor tables for US alone. So that is
great.
how the industry has grown over the years. Today I think there are more than 20 manufacturers in India, big and small, and they're all trying to get a share of the market. But international market is where the real business is.
right. But Mr. Kohli, I mean, you famously say at Stag International or about it that you are players first and then manufacturers. And you have also been the only player from India to have played world championships in 3 sports: table tennis, tennis, and pickleball. So, as a sports person yourself, what, how does that career inform your career in manufacturing?
See, the big difference between us and all the other manufacturers is that we are players ourselves, and we understand what a player is looking at when he's looking at equipment. I remember I just share this with you. I remember in early 90s, I went to a company called Scholler Mickey in Germany. So this person, Mr. Muller, my brother, he had met him for the first time in 1 year back, and he was talking about his table tennis skills and all. And then when he was coming out of the factory, they had a table tennis table. So he said, "Oh, come, let us play a game." So Vivek, my younger brother, he played a game with him. And that time the game used to be 21, raised to 21. So he won 21-7 or 21-8. The next time when I went to the factory, I asked him, "Let us play a game." He said, "Sorry, I played with your brother and I got only 7 points. I don't know how many I'm going to get against you." So he refused to play. So the basic thing was that people who were interacting with us, they saw us as good table tennis players, and they had the confidence that if these people are good players, the equipment which they're going to manufacture is going to be of the highest standard. So that really helped.
Hmm.
Right. And yeah, I mean, in general, I guess from the 1980s until now, what would you say are the biggest ways in which the table tennis industry has evolved over the last few decades? Like in terms of coaching, in terms of infrastructure.
Oh, there has been
Ah,
there has been a big difference to what we had. I mean, we grew up playing on cemented floors. Today you have the flooring, rubberized flooring. We grew up playing on small planks of wood set up together to make a table tennis table. Now you have the highest standard equipment available here. So there's been, I mean, if you see the coaching, I mean, you have the best coaches in the world. The scientific training which we have, although the numbers at the grassroots level have not increased to that extent, but the quality of the players and the quality of the equipment, the quality of the facilities which we have today, that has grown in leaps and bounds. I
yeah,
mean, there was an opportunity for Indians to have a league like UTT. I mean, where all the best players from anywhere across the globe are there. You had the WTT very shortly. I mean, a few months back, where you had who and who of table tennis from the world.
Yes, it was really good. And at the same time, I would say government of India is doing very well, because Ministry of Youth and Sports Affairs, like, they are along with SAI, the schemes, they have come into very good grassroots development players, core group, top scheme. They have done lots of study, and that is working well with our players. Not only in table tennis in general, but in other games also. Our players are doing extremely well. Sports science has come into picture, physio, support staff, everything government is giving. It's immense help they are giving. And now the players only have to concentrate on their performance. They are planning of training and everything. Everything is looking taken care of.
Yeah, I mean, I remember, Mona, when you were playing, I think there were very few opportunities of somebody going abroad and playing.
Yes.
Today, every second week, one other the team is going abroad. I mean, whether it's the juniors or it's the seniors or it is the top level players,
and
they are playing events all over.
They're supported, because they
Yeah.
are going, if they're in the top 100 or top 50, government is giving them, like, you can go to this place. They have to give the plan, and then government top from SAI, they pay the everything, whatever, But you have to reach to that standard. Then development group also, they have certain capping. Then you have to just play well. Before us, we only played few tournaments: World Championships, Asian Championships, Asian Games, and few invitational tournaments. That was, we used to get ranking from that ITTF ranking. But now the players are going everywhere to get their ranking, enhanced, because when they go and play more tournaments, they get international ranking, which helps them to play better when the draw is made. So that counts in it. Yeah.
That's true. I mean, at your time, there used to be maybe one Indupuri or one Shailja
Yes,
Sulokya, one Monalisa, or one maybe Neha Agarwal. But today, I mean, you see, I mean, how many players have come to the forefront? I mean, you see the Indian women's team. It's so difficult to get into the Indian women's team.
Yes,
We used to, at that point of time, we used to talk that the Chinese national championship is one of the toughest. Now, for the Indian players, the Indian national championship is equally tough.
Equally tough. Nobody can say who is going to win.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Ms. Mehta, I'm curious about your experience as a table tennis coach as well. Since you've been coaching, I believe you were part of the Indian table tennis school team coaching Sam Starr, Adler, Trisha Gogoi, and you went to Malta.
Malta, yeah. Actually, I had been going as a coach for many, like in China also, we had gone as a camp, training camp, where Kamlesh was there, myself, and Bengal another coach was there. So we had taken 25 players to China for training. And after that, the tournament was happening. So that was a good learning for us, And the youngest was 11-year-old boy was going from South. So he was a vegetarian. Then I was there as a lady coach. So that time, when we were playing, the supper used to be at 6:30 after the practice session, because they eat early in China. So then they used to say, "Man, what to eat? Nothing is there to eat. The taste is not good." In China, you can imagine what happens. So then I used to tell, "Don't worry." Then I made friends with the chef and all. I went to the kitchen and I had taken some masala and instant food, packets. So and they have got lots of vegetable, and I used to put all Indian masala and used to cook for them every day. So they were so happy. So these are, very, not only coaching, but this also helps, to get bonding with the players. And after the last day, we had some dance program, we had choreographed. These are all along with your game. You do this part also, and that really helps in your bonding. And in Malta, as you said, I had gone, and we had got bronze medal in the girls' team. So they had defeated Slovakia 5-2. There were 7 singles they had to play. There were no doubles. So it was because as a player, when you go, and as a coach, it's a little different. Coach, when you are a player, you are only handling yourself. But as a coach, you have to handle so many, and they are how they are mentally prepared. You have to encourage them in each moment, and if they are down, also you have to make them happy. How to make them happy? There are so many things. It's not that just one thing for a coach. So I enjoyed my coaching. This thing I used to love. I did my best, whatever.
Yeah, that goes without saying. Yeah. So,
That's
I
right.
mean, coming back to your question regarding how, as a player, I mean, how is it has helped my manufacturing. See, I mean, when as a player, when you're participating, when you are actually playing, you're concentrating on the game at hand, on the ball you want to hit. You have goals. Okay, you want to win the match, you want to win the title. Similarly, in business, you have goals. You want to be the largest exporter of sporting goods from India. You want to do this, you want to do that. But it is important to concentrate on the work at hand. A lot of us talk about money. I always say that money should not be the reason for your work. It should be the offshoot of the work you do. Similarly, as a player, we say that win should not be the reason for your playing. It should be the offshoot of how you have played, how well you have performed. So these are, I mean, like when we play doubles, so we try to help each other, we try to motivate each other so that both of us together we can win the game. Similarly, when we are working with our partners internationally, we try to formulate strategies whereby both of us can win over the competition. So that is how, you know, the part of my being a player and the part my being a manufacturer and an exporter. So that goes hand in hand.
Right, sir. And I've also been reading about your work at the grassroots level when it comes to training kids in table tennis and giving them the space to
Yeah.
play. So could you tell us a little bit about that as well?
Yeah. In India, we started the 1 million table tennis player program. And in many countries, they had their own programs because they don't have millions, but they have lesser population. So they started 100,000 table tennis players or a 10,000 table tennis players. Or in Maldives, they started 5,000 table tennis players program. So that was something, you know, whereby we can promote the game at the grassroots levels. However, you know, we have been working very closely with the ITTF for the development programs. And way back in 1991, when Mr. Ogimura was the president of ITTF, he had a meeting with all the manufacturers and he asked that what they can do to promote the sport. And it was quite surprising that none of the manufacturers came forward. And next day, my younger brother Vivek, he went to Mr. Ogimura and he told him that we want to donate some tables to the ITT. So he was quite surprised that a new manufacturer is coming to him and he's asking that he wants to donate some tables. And he asked him, what do you want in return? He said, nothing. He said, I have not seen a manufacturer who doesn't want anything in return. So the idea it has always been, is what we can give to the sport. The sport will automatically give it back. But the first thing is that what we can give to the sport. So that is important for us. We work very closely with ITTF for development programs. And for that, we were nominated for the Peace and Sport Award, which is one of the highest, you know, wherever there is a calamity, like in Sri Lanka during the tsunami. We were the first ones there with sporting equipment. Wherever there is a war, we are there with the free sporting equipment across the globe. So that is one of the reasons why we call ourselves a small company with a big heart. So that is all about. I mean, we are passionate about the sport. We want to grow the sport as much as we can. You know, a few years back, ITTF, they had affiliations of 212 countries and volleyball had 221. There are 226 affiliated associations. There are 226 associations across the globe. Now, ITTF wanted to go and have those 15 associations whereby they can overcome volleyball as the highest affiliated association. So we made packages for, table tennis packages for these 15 associations, and we asked them to join. And if they join, they'll get these packages free of charge. So with the result, ITTF became the association with the highest number of affiliations. So we want to do whatever we can. We want to we want to make the pie bigger. If the pie is bigger, everyone gets a bigger share.
That's really nice. That's both clever and generous at the same time. And yeah, I mean, I've also been thinking about India as a table tennis destination, with the championships in Goa end of Feb, and I believe Ultimate Table Tennis Championships are also going to be happening in
Yeah,
July.
July, yes.
Yeah. So, yeah, in your views, what are the steps across different aspects that need to be taken with regard to achieving this goal of India becoming a table tennis destination? Now that there is a boom, we have the players, we have the talent. Do we have the infrastructure, and are there any other aspects that we still need to work on?
Yeah, I have my take on that. If Mona, you would like to go first, or should I?
No, you can go. I can, yeah.
Okay, so I remember that a few years back, Werner Schlager had a table tennis academy just next to the airport in Austria. Now there were players from all across the world who were playing there in that academy. Similarly, Montaglu in France, he has an academy for tennis where players across the globe, they are there. So I think it makes sense if we want to make India as a table tennis destination. It makes sense that we should have one world-class academy here, and whereby we can impart the top-level coaching to anyone who would like to come here. I think that is one way of having India as a top-level destination. The second way could be like just like we have in tennis, we have the Wimbledon or the French Open or the US Open. Similarly, if we can have one such event in India where all the players from across the globe they would come. I think UTT is doing quite well in that, where we can have all the players from across. So I would say, I mean, with UTT already India is a top destination for table tennis today. But if we can have an academy of the highest order, of the highest standard, I think we have all the infrastructure available. We have the will. Only thing is
Yeah.
that everybody needs to find the way.
We have a good infrastructure. At the same time, I think to just add on with what Rakesh had said, that we need in India like a good administrator and good support staff also. Like it's a huge thing. In financially also, when you organize such leagues, it's quite of this thing. And private players are coming now. It's a good sign. They are helping. So that's a great sign. And I would believe that train the trainer program, India, the coaching also has to improve. Our Indian coaches are good. The ex-players, they should be encouraged, and coaching thing should be separate, because if we can be self-sufficient in whatever we do in India, then I think India will progress. Already government is trying hard. So it is not the single-handedly you cannot do anything. It is all you together, you work as a team and you do go forward. And India is definitely going to be the next destination. It's already there. Well, yeah. Star Contender is not an easy this thing. It's a big championship. And it has been held. And UTT is always there. 3 years it's already, and due to COVID, it's starting. So these are all, it will take table tennis to a great height, I would believe.
That's right.
I believe.
Right. And with the World Table Tennis Championships starting in Durban in just a week, I was curious about what message the both of you would have for the Indian team. Like the Indian contingent comprises 5 men and 6 women, including Sharad Kamal and Manika Batra. So, what would you like to tell the team ahead of the championships?
Just wish them luck and confident that they are going to do well, because they are playing well in mixed doubles. They are world number 5, and doubles also they are playing well. So they can do better, and I am confident that they will do well. Wishing them all the luck.
So I remember in Shanghai World Championship, I was with Sharad at that time, and Sharad was to play the world number 1 in Shanghai in the World Championships. And Sharad was a bit upset that he got a tough draw. And so I was talking to Sharad. I said, Sharad, this is not, this is a challenge. And at the same time, it's a huge opportunity. The eyes of the whole table tennis world are on you today. And if you are able to bring an upset here, overnight, you are a star. And Mona, you remember what happened? The very first game,
Yeah.
Sharad won.
Wow.
And the entire Chinese media, they were all, what's going to happen next? Although Sharad lost that match,
But at least,
he gained a lot of popularity. So what I would like to tell my Indian players today is that they have the ability to perform at the highest standard. They have to have the confidence and the belief in themselves. There is only a very small difference between a good player and a great player. This is an opportunity for all of them to become great players. Let us see which one of them comes out with flying colors. All the best to the Indian team. Let us hope they all perform well.
Yes, true.
Thank you. We'll make sure we convey that. Mr. Sharad Kamal actually had given an address at a Sportscom managing committee meeting just a few months ago, actually. And it would be nice if we could include him in one of our future sessions with SportscomSpeak.
Now he's busy training in Bangalore with the team. The team is training in Bangalore.
So I would just like to, Aditi, I would just like to share here, if we have 2 minutes. This is a very good story which I mean, I was fortunate to have. You see, one of my buyers from New Zealand, he sent me an email after the Commonwealth Games in Australia. So he said that he was so fortunate to have stayed back and saw that match which the Indian women won against, I think probably Singapore. They won against Singapore. And he was so all praise for the Indian women, the way they conducted themselves, the way they shared their, the winning with all the people around, and the way they shared the medals along with them. And this was a guy who was known to me in table tennis. He sent that letter to me so that I could convey to the Indian women's team how happy he was to see them and to perform at that level. So this is how, the sport, it's totally unbelievable. I mean, this guy is just a buyer for me. And one of his friends has gone to that event. He has narrated this story. He has sent that to me. And then when I conveyed this to the Indian team, when I conveyed this to Manika, they were also happy.
I can only imagine. There's a lot of love for the game. It's also, I feel like table tennis is also something that everyone has played as a kid or in their college. It's a very accessible kind of game.
Yeah, you can play any time of the year. Any time of the year, because if it rains also, it's an indoor game. You can play anywhere.
That's right, Mona. But just for your information, we did 40,000 outdoor tables for US.
That too I have seen. Yeah, that I have seen. That's a great thing.
So you can play outside anytime you want.
Yes. Now it's both sides.
Yeah. That's it, yeah.
That's fantastic.
My last question to the both of you is actually about, you've had such illustrious careers over the last few decades. What have been your biggest learnings from them that you would like to kind of pass on to the next generation of players, manufacturers, anyone who loves table tennis and sport in general?
Rakesh, I would start. Can I start?
Yeah, please start.
For me, it's the biggest learning is that, when I started playing, I just played for fun. Okay. So later on, when you came into winning and all, you met so many people, it's a different life altogether and made me different person. When you play, it's a learning because I was a very shy when I was a child, as a child, I never used to speak much. Then slowly, when I started interacting and going out and making friends, that's a different life altogether. You learn so many things. You learn to lose in a game, how to win, your behavior, everything changes, your confidence level. So this is a great learning, and not to give up. Not to give up. Any moment, whenever, whatever you try, don't give up. If you have a passion, you just go for it. Don't expect the result. You just enjoy to the full. That's my learning I have learned. Whatever I do, not only in TT, whatever I do, I go full out. Then whether it comes back to me, that I don't look. I'm just happy about it.
That's good. Yeah, that's very good. So my learnings from sports and basically from my manufacturing, I would share first. The first thing which I learned from my grandfather many years back is He used to tell me that go to the 11th customer only when you have 10 satisfied customers. If you have 10 satisfied customers, the 11th and the 12th and the 13th and 14th, they will automatically come to you. So this was even before I did my MBA. And when I did my MBA, they were all talking about customer satisfaction. So this was what was taught to me even before I did my MBA. My grandfather taught me.
Great.
The second learning came from my father. And that learning was that continuous innovation is very important for succeeding in business. And from the first innovation of producing a table tennis table with wheels to making a pole vault pit or landing mat in India, or making a wrestling mat in India, or to making a wheelchair friendly table in India, or if today we make the first remote operated table in the globe. So every day it has been a learning about continuous innovation. The third thing which I have learned in my life is that it is never too late. See, I started my second innings as a tennis player at the age of 46. And I mean, I played 10 world championships. I've been, the highest ranking I've achieved is 14 in the world. I won 28 international titles with 15 different partners. So what I mean to say here is that it's never too late. You can start anywhere, at any point of time. And the fourth learning, which is not only for sports, but it is for everyone. It's somebody asked a successful person that what is the reason behind your success? He said, in life, I was always the first one to jump on an opportunity. Then the second question came that how did you realize that this was an opportunity? He said, no, I kept jumping. When the opportunity came, I was the first one. So my message to all the players, to all the entrepreneurs, to all the manufacturers is keep jumping. When the opportunity will come, you'll be the first one. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, both of you. This has been very inspirational and a conversation with a lot of heart. Thank you for your time, and we'll do our best to convey your message to the Indian team.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Aditi. Thank you so much. All the best. Thank you,
Thank you.
Mona.
Thank you, Rakesh. Thank you, Aditi.
Bye.
Thank you.